Yeah, okay. I don't want to trivialize, what's an important thesis for Entellium, gamer influence design, but we've got to start thinking about the experience. Now, the proof is already out there in consumer software, right? Without any marketing, without any major push, companies in the consumer space, MySpace, Facebook, YouTube, etc., created these fabulously pleasurable experiences. And what happened? Well, we all know what happened. Fabulously healthy companies, great business prospects, etc., etc. But pleasure does matter. So building pleasure into something really does matter. So the other great thing about gaming is the tips, tricks, and rewards concept, right? So for business software to import or incorporate gaming mechanics, it's important that users can discover, in other words, make it obvious what they should be doing and push them and when, to help them to discover, prod them in the UI, help them to explore, help them to go and find out stuff and experience stuff without penalty. Let them, for example, how about setting up I'm a CRM guy, so forgive me, but how about if you want to do an email campaign? So you set up your email campaign, you set it all up. You know what happens in enterprise software? You do all that setup, you press the button, and you hope it all kind of materializes the way you're hoping. Well, what if it actually let you test that? What if it actually simulated sending the email out so you can actually kind of see it come back? What if it let you test more and model more how things might actually work out? That's what happens in gaming. It allows you to explore and rewards you for doing so. Finally, this concept of mastering. People's brains are wired, okay, I think something called endorphins go flying around your brain when you play games, and the reason is because you've been challenged, you've learned something, and you've mastered it. Right? It's the same feeling you get when you go through college and you sit your finals and you come out with a great result. For everyone in this room. I never got the chance to experience that. But it's that overcoming, it's that ability to learn what gaming software does. And everybody says, oh, it's addictive. What do they put in it? Well, actually what they put in it is challenging your brain. That's what they put in it. That's why people play it so much. Because it's highly rewarding when you overcome something and work out what it is you're doing and move on to the next level. So there's definitely an opportunity for us to incorporate those kinds of designs in business software. In fact, today, in some consumer applications, gaming or gamer influences are there. Look at MySpace. I've just got a few screens from a version of MySpace. Something called MySpace Collections. So what's the deal here? So Alice's friends. Alice is already community-driven. She's already gone out, got a whole bunch of communities, friends, and she's put them all on a single screen, and it's her friends. That's her network. Collaborative, highly networked. MySpace also has the feedback loop. Remember I was talking about feedback, how important that is in a game? That's how you know you're progressing. Well, you can see here, blog comment, if there's a blog comment or there's a new message, or I get invited to something, you get a lot of feedback in consumer applications. The feedback you get in a CRM application is the sales manager barking down your ear because you missed your plan, right? That's not really the feedback I think we're looking for here. There could be some positive reinforcement. How about if the system said to you, well done, you met your goal today with 25 calls, just automatically. How can we introduce feedback to produce a positive and rewarding experience for the user, like something like MySpace? This is so big in gaming as well. Points, ranking stuff. Like I said, hyper-competitive. So in MySpace, you rank people, and you rank stuff. And your ranking gets aggregated with other people's rankings. And before you know it, stuff's ranked, right? And that's a very important, again, another gaming influence. Achievements, where are you? And then, of course, total customization. And Salesforce.com this morning did a fabulous job of showing how important customization is. And clearly, in the consumer world, as we're seeing here, it's also very important. So in business software, how would that relate? Well, here's a Rave. Our product is called Rave. So have a look at this. So on the screen behind me, You know, in sales you have like a sales report that shows you how well you're doing, right? Like a quota report or a forecast report or some other nasty document. Well, in gaming you would have a sales leaderboard, right? And if you look at the top, I know that your eyesight would have to be almost superhero-like, but if you can see Sean there is at the top, he's ranked number 1. Underneath, in the blue writing, it says deal blog. Deal blog, what's one of those? Well, what one of those is if we're gamer influence, what you do is you automatically create a blog of his experience in selling to accounts. You know, in enterprise software, that's called an audit log. You know, what did he do, when did he do it, right? In gaming, it's called a deal blog, right? Because what it is a transaction record of how he was successful. And it's automatically published by the system. So his top 5 deals is on deal blog. And guess what? It's published online so his friends can go and read it and work out what did he do, how quickly did he call the lead back, what proposal did he send, what was the template, what did it look like, what did his proposal value proposition say, right? And you can do that anonymously. You also see in the column next to kind of what looks like the fire thing, what's called the global rank. This, I think, is a huge idea. So how about this? It's very common to get ranked how well you're doing inside your organization. What about if you're ranked compared to your peers across Entellium's entire customer base? Like massive online games, where you get your online gaming rank, and when you log in and you play some of these online games, your name comes up and your game rank comes up. And you're kind of either a 4-star or 3-star or no star in my case. But to be able to compare one salesperson, let's say in the pharmaceutical industry, against his peers in the pharmaceutical industry, and being able to see that online aggregation of data anonymously is huge. So that's an example of how a more gamer-influenced design is going to look. The UI is very, very different. It's very interactive. It's visually much richer. You know, I've heard a lot about Ajax. If anyone's here is a software developer, go back, use Ajax to draw a diagonal line on the screen. Can't do it. It doesn't do stuff like that. It doesn't have any rich visual presentation of information. So that's one example. I'll just quickly pull up another example. So as you drill down, you look at the leaderboard card. You know, some stuff. How about on the panel on the right there, the second one down, you probably can't quite see it. It says bragging rights. Bragging rights. That's what salespeople want. Stuff like, you know, largest sales in the quarter, highest quota percentage, most time in the top 10, quickest sale on record, quickest time to call back a lead, average number of deals per month. My goodness me, this is competitive stuff, right? And this is how you take that kind of attitude in gaming and you bring it into enterprise software. I tell you, in the industry of CRM, salespeople are very competitive. They will want to be top of this list. They will want the highest ranks. They will want the record for the quickest close. They will want the highest average. Notice how many times I use the word want. When was the last time the word want and CRM was ever put together? Right? Salespeople don't want CRM, it's what managers want. Right? That's going to change when you introduce something like gamer influence design. And then just some fun stuff like the iTunes down the bottom there. What's his favorite playlist? You know, that kind of community app. What am I listening to now when I'm closing deals? You know, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of innovation. There's a lot of unmet, unarticulated needs in CRM yet. And gamer influence design can most certainly solve that.